Hello, readers. I'm Miss Taylor. You may remember me from reading class. I wanted to invite you to join my Google Classroom. I did send you an invitation. So when you go to classroom.google.com, you should see a little invitation from Miss Taylor to join my reading class. And you do have to join my reading class. You are in my reading class. You have to join. Yeah. So, anywho, I wanted to personally invite you to my Google Classroom. And so, what you do, this is just a review for some of you if you've already gone there. I made a little video for my homeroom students. So, if you've already seen this, feel free to skip ahead. Step 2 is you're going to log in to Google Classroom. And your login, this is my example. If I were a second grader, my login would be T Taylor. So, the first initial of your first name followed by your last name, and then 30 at novaclassical.org. So I was saying with my homeroom students that that's pretty neat that you guys are going to graduate from high school in the year 2030. What a fun number to be like. 2030. Woohoo. All right. And then the password is Nova, capital letter, 2020 to get into your Google Classroom account. And then step 3 is to join your classes. So you should join 4 classes in second grade. We're doing homeroom, reading, math, and PE. If you don't know your code, you should ask your parents to look at the lower school landing page that Ms. Tuzanoff sent the other day. And yeah, make sure you join my reading class especially. Oops. All right, so for reading class, as you all hopefully remember, we are reading Robin Hood and we just started it. So it actually works out kind of well because we've already read the introduction and chapter 1 together in class, and we've already gotten kind of hooked on this book. And I hope that you found yours at home and that you have it in a safe spot because we're going to be reading it for the next few weeks. And I am in the process of making some little videos to help you with the vocabulary and just kind of hearing Miss Taylor read it out loud first and kind of explaining some things that are going on or doing some practice with our comprehension strategies like inferring and kind of summarizing, making connections, visualizing, all of those things that we do in reading class. So I'm working on some videos and some Google Slides for that. I thought for this video, I would just read a little tiny bit of the introduction for you, just a tiny bit. So we know that the Robin Hood stories take place in England, so similar to King Arthur. And before we started reading Robin Hood, we made some connections between King Arthur and Robin Hood, and we kind of activated our schema. We thought about what do we already know about Robin Hood, and a lot of you already knew quite a bit about Robin Hood, or you've heard about Robin Hood, and those of you who didn't were able to learn from your classmates, from people sharing things, and they were helping you to build your schema and your background knowledge about Robin Hood. And I actually wanted to read just a little tiny paragraph from the introduction. So, enjoy. 2 heroes from the Middle Ages still stir our imaginations. One is King Arthur, with his Knights of the Round Table. The other is Robin Hood with his band of forest outlaws. King Arthur and his knights live at court. They go into the dark woods when they are after adventure. But forests hold no danger for Robin Hood and his men. Sherwood Forest is their home, and they feel safe there. The King Arthur stories tell of the mighty noblemen who rule. The Robin Hood stories tell of common men who defy their masters and rule themselves. Was Robin Hood a real person? Probably not. But English records from the Middle Ages do tell of desperate criminals who ran into the woods to hide from the law and live in bands, robbing those who passed through their gloomy glens. The Robin Hood stories come to us from ballads popular in the 13th century. A ballad is a song or poem that usually tells a story. Ballads have rhyming 4-line stanzas, sometimes followed by a chorus. You'll find verses from these old ballads introducing each chapter of our story. All right, and I will pause there for now. I just wanted to make a short little video for you But there is one of the ballads that starts chapter 1. Let's see. Can you read it? Nice job. All right. So again, we'll be reading Robin Hood. Awesome book. We'll be thinking about, sort of like we thought about with King Arthur, is he a wise leader? So Robin Hood is a leader in a very different way than King Arthur, but definitely still a leader. And so we'll kind of think about, is Robin Hood making wise choices, unwise choices? What about the characters? What can we learn about how they change and how they develop? And also kind of thinking about some of the bigger questions and themes that we had for King Arthur: loyalty, justice, virtue. There's some questions about, are these things that Robin Hood does, are they virtuous? If he's stealing from the unjust rich and giving to the poor, you know. So there's definitely some things for us to think about in this book. So here's Robin Hood. Please join my classroom. You got to do it. You're in my reading class. You got to join my class. All right. Oh, and if you're wondering, why is Miss Taylor at school? I had to come to school to get a couple things for today. But otherwise, I will be coming to you live from my basement in South Minneapolis. Maybe my kitchen table sometimes. All right. Bye, readers.